So this is gonna be weird because I can see the stream, but it's super delayed compared to what I'm saying. Oh, sorry. I was just here. I'll move back to the. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, I have to actually just sit up straight because my instinct is to kind of like lean forward. Right. Yeah, I was hanging out with Dean, so I didn't catch a lot of that, but I tuned in for some of it. Yeah, and I was looking at it, and if I was trying to match like kind of that sizing, I'd have to move really far away from my computer. Yeah, mine's because my desk's against the wall. Hmm. Just a little chunk of it. And how's my audio coming through? I mean, I can hear you clearly, but I'm probably hearing you through the StreamYard. Well, actually, you know what? There's enough delay from OBS to the YouTube that I could hear it, so I'll check it. From what I can tell, well, yours sounds good. I've never had an issue from. I mean, I've never had an issue listening to your audio. Man. Oh, what I did was I just ran it into my audio recorder and checked the kind of the levels on that and left my mic on those settings. That seemed good. Maybe it's a good time. Maybe we should remember this time for streaming. We might not look like we know what we're doing, but Cody does. Well, and I can always like I have a green screen and I can rig it to sit behind me if it's really necessary. I could even just hang a black blanket behind me and just be a floating head. Yeah, I understand. Hmm. The audio loop I think is good, but the video one I sent I know is not going to loop properly. Yeah, I had a feeling about that because it an aspect ratio. I don't want to do that. Well, you put a lot of time into that. Fair enough. Cool, and there is a lag, so it's gonna take me a minute. Oh, I see. Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I mean, I like what you did, and I can. Did you like the giant feet prints that I put there? Well, I have that. I have that. What you're looking at as an image, so I'll just. Yeah. Well, the reason I think that one's wrong is because it's a video, and my video program.
go. That should fix it. Thank you, Eliza Bar. That's why you need people watching. My mic audio it had switched itself to default instead of the microphone I use. So you probably could hear Chris when he was chatting earlier, but couldn't hear me, and I had no idea he couldn't hear me, and he had no idea he couldn't hear me because he could hear me through StreamYard. I love it. Yes, I do exist. At least there was something there, right? There was some music. So yeah, back on Twitch. It's nice. Oh, I gotta add you back. I'm so sorry. There you are. Sorry. Have my own issues as well.
I'm just talking to you. I was like, he's just busy.
No, not until I add you to stage. That's the problem with StreamYard.
That's funny.
Yeah. No.
So what happened? I think part of it was on my end. I don't know. I was trying to send you the email of that image, and I think that really just chewed up too much of my internet.
Oh, that's fun.
So I sent you the static image of that background with the giant silhouette. If you wanted to use that,
killer.
And it wouldn't mess up what you're doing.
Cool. Let me see. I shouldn't have that same issue. There you are. I got it. Oh, well, you guys.
And I'm realizing I need to work on like a streaming voice. I just need to take on a different affectation.
Yeah, because I totally do that all the time. Okay, so this one's still going to be too tall. It's going to have the same issues. So I'll show you the image I've got, right? I'll just have to remove all of us. But the campfire's almost in the center of the shot. Yeah, that's the bit. And so, let me see. Can I do that easily? I should be able to. Just to go to the image and go to other part of share screen.
Oh, I see the difference.
Yeah. And so, to get the campfire on screen, right, I have to raise that, which cuts off the sky.
I see. I understand. It's too. You know what? I just didn't realize that I had a couple different versions of this. I thought I was working on all the same one.
No worries.
I can. So what? So if you do like the image of the giant in the background like that,
yeah,
and you like the footprints,
what I need to do is remove the StreamYard one from my browser, and I'll just show you whenever I'm right. No, it decides that what? Okay, let me see. StreamYard. Yeah, that's the only one. So why is it showing my other browser? Thanks, OBS. Sure. I was hoping that would work. That way I don't have to keep... oh, now it just wants to... Oh, because that's the original one it hooked into. Okay, so what if I change it to that one? Okay. OBS. Why are you showing nothing? Okay, tiny? Why is it tiny? Did this to me when I was doing the creator bit too. When I do the cuts for some reason, or the cropping, it just undoes it starts cropping things itself, which is beyond annoying. I got it to work at least eventually, but I was fighting though. I don't want to be fighting. Transform. We'll reset the transform. Here we go. Okay. And then what I do is crop. And we'll have to stretch you out, but that's my tiny little guy. Alright. That's fixed. Go, and then I can increase the size. Cool. Oh, no. I want to increase the size. There we go. Big old. Okay. Resolution's not the best. There's other ways to do it. But, there you go. Oh, and I can't hear you now. Why is that a thing? Are you muted? Did I mute you? Not that I know of. Because I should be hearing you through StreamYard either way. Unmute my. Oh, yes, I did mute you.
I think you did mute me.
There we go. Fixed it. I did. I muted it when I moved the Windows to another browser. Yep. Okay. But yeah, what were you saying this whole time that I couldn't hear you?
Probably something really
important.
Moving.
Yeah, moving. Gotcha. Cool. Okay, so this should work, and I can work on this window, and it won't get really... That's great. That's helpful. That's a start. Okay. So yeah, no, if you can just swap that out and do the same work on that image, that'll be great. I'd love the
Yeah,
footprints
and
just
what I
got
was
to be
gonna
like
do was
right over here
I was
next
gonna
to the
cut out
fire.
more of the top of the fires because I can see the image behind your
Uh,
animation.
uh,
So I'll
totally.
cut out the fire itself, so our fire will be the animation will be the only fire in the pit.
Totally, totally, totally great. Awesome. All
I'll
right.
cut that out, and then I'll add the giant.
Very cool.
He
And then,
might get in the way of where you have the moon. I can move him though.
well, if you want to put a moon like behind him as well, like this one has an animation. It's just so minuscule. And I know
I
you
mean, I
had a
can
specific
tell
kind
it's
of moon.
doing something.
Yeah, it's like around it, it shimmers a little bit. That's it. The others I found have clouds, right? So it's a big square that you'll notice the clouds, but it just doesn't work.
Ah,
This one I made transparent enough, and it was black, so it's bright enough. It works. If
no,
you
it looks good.
to look at it close though, but if you just put one static, fine, it won't make a difference. Like that's fine. Little owl dudes moving. I got the stars twinkling. Like that's plenty for what is primarily gonna be audio focused.
Right.
Like that's probably more than 90% of folks would put into it work wise. So
I like
not
it
a
though.
problem. Well, good. Yeah, I do too. Um, so I've just got again. We'll have different tunage, but I've got something in the background now that seems to work. It's chill.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get some. I as soon as I start trying to make music, I get kind of picky.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Totally.
So I'm gonna try not to do that too much, and maybe just come up with something that we can, something just easy to listen to. But like I said, I had come up with I came up with kind of something I was toying with as a potential intro. Let me see.
Cool. Cool.
I don't remember if it was any good. This was the other night, and I was probably really wrong about it being good.
Turn off mine. There you go. Okay. I mean, as a
Can you hear
yeah, no, I could. I don't know if they could because I have to switch audio channels a bit, and I caught it, but I don't know if I caught it soon enough to hear much of it for the live folks who are somehow still watching this. But yeah, no, for an intro, it grabs attention. As background, it'd be too much.
Yeah, I don't want this as background. It's just a little loop I came up with, but I was like, oh, we can use that as an intro. That'll be good.
Totally, no, you can just run that in the back of this, which I can do a different transition or what have you. You sent me a fixed one of these. I don't think I swapped it out. Let me swap that out real quick. Yeah, the thumbnail. No, no. Well, I could be. See, I could be. Um, but yeah, this is the bits. Like I can get you out of that too. But I need. This is the one I worked on, so I can do this. That was basically like the canvas with the moving parts, right? So I just need to download. Let's look at it in context. Oh, I gotta rename. Oh, it can't just be called thumbnail because I have a bunch of things just called thumbnail. How dare you? Dare you disregard my work? Boom. There we go. Okay, and then I can increase this profile. Then I'll raise it just a little bit, and I can throw the logo above it. We'll get an idea. Oh, that's too much because of the other head. So turn everything there. So that's what it would look like. I like it. You definitely applied a filter that makes it look a little bit more like that AI upscaled screenshot there from SNL, which I like. That's what I was trying to do. Because yeah, yeah, a little less uncanny. That's all I wanted. Like, I mean, the big head's supposed to be uncanny. It's the goof part of it, right? But exactly, exactly. Bingo. But no, I like it. It's a lot better than what I ended up with, which was just what filter's gonna put on there to make it blend. I don't know. I just threw a bunch of shit on it. So no, I like it. I like it quite a
Well,
bit.
I think
That'll
I
work
flipped
perfect.
your head to where you're kind of. It looks like you're kind of facing.
You did that too. Yes, you killer. Yeah, no, it looks it. Your head's a better aligned as well. Cool, cool. Yeah, because mine that's the other head. Whoa. I can make us. Oh, that's funny. I can kind of animate us. That's funny.
Some channels I enjoy have like animated intros and stuff with
Totally.
like this kind of heads splattered on.
Yeah. Very cool. But no, that works great. Again, significantly better. I didn't even know how the upscaling would work, and I'm glad it did, because finding a decent image from that era or anything previous of SNL it does not happen. And the ones I found have like this massive watermark on it because they're that protective of their stuff. So
yeah, and you know what's a shame is I had the opportunity to watch some SNL on whatever streaming site that they're on, and
Peacock.
they don't have the live music performances because I guess they don't
Yep.
have the rights to them.
Yep, it's super depressing. So you'll get like the host saying, "And here's," and then it'll.
Like tonight we have Faith No More, and I'm like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
That's the one I went back to go watch was a Faith No More performance, and Mel Gibson was on the episode. I was like, oh cool, this will
be fun. Yeah.
And then no Faith No More.
Yeah, nah, yep, that's the bit. They just couldn't afford it. Same problem with the Grand Theft Auto games, the old ones, Vice City, 3, and San Andreas. A lot of their, particularly Vice City, which had Michael Jackson's Bad, it had Maiden's Number of the Beast, it had fucking Rebel Yell. They just didn't want to renew those licenses, so every time it's been re-put on a different system for the PC re-release or this remastered stuff, they just cut it. And so a lot of the soul of the old stuff, and that's another reason why you keep physical media, is, if you have a PS2 copy of San Andreas, you got that whole soundtrack.
Because that's really what the stream is about. Okay, folks, we are here to talk about the importance of physical media.
No shit. No, it's true. No, man, they're working like Walmart's jumped on the board with Best Buy, and they're no longer going to sell DVDs and physical games.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have prepared me for this before you said that.
I didn't know you didn't hear that. Walmart, they're starting with physical games, but they're going to move into DVDs as well, right? It's just inevitable. Best Buy, it's everything. It's everything. So that's, they're moving that way. Either it's not making enough money or what have you, and a lot of game companies now they'll give you a box, but you still got to download the fucker, right? They don't even print you a disc anymore. So it's again, it's just another angle for planned obsolescence.
You will own nothing.
Yep.
And be happy.
Yep, and love it. And that's the bit. Everything's licensed, not bought.
Ever since I switched to an all-rent, all-streaming lifestyle, I've been happier than I've ever been.
Bingo. No question. No question. But that's, yeah, so that's the bit, though, is those soundtracks, those licenses, the actual original artistic expressions, they are degrading, and right before our eyes. It's not taking 50 years for a painting to kind of lose its color. No. It's just straight up being like cheapened. It's crazy.
Well, I'm glad that
not long till films do that too.
Time at the video
store.
Oh,
actually, films did it too. Fucking Across the Spider-Verse had a patched version of it resent out to theaters after a couple weeks. They didn't like how Spider-Punk looked when it went. There was a certain look of the Spider-Punk that they didn't like, so they sent out a new version, and that was what most people saw. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's not long till, and then I remember, yeah, that's what they did. It's basically George Lucasing everything, but like live.
Is once they chip everybody's brain, they're gonna send out patches for your memory when they do something shady. They're like, "Oh, patch that," and it's like, "Oh, remember when we all got ice cream yesterday? That was awesome."
Yep. No, it's gross. Been playing a lot of Cyberpunk 2077, and they've patched that and actually released a complete game, and it is fucking amazing. But it deals with that. There's a concept called brain dances, which I think Johnny Mnemonic also worked, kind of had that concept of, where you do a memory and people will like relive it for like a high. So the first one you're introduced to is a drugstore robbery, right? So you're in the guy's suits as he's getting like hyped up to go robbing the place and shit. That's how they introduce you. But then it goes into sex, of course, is the primary market.
But they do that in Strange Days.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've seen that.
No, that doesn't sound familiar.
I don't remember who the guy in it is, but the female lead, I think she's in Natural Born Killers. Yeah, who's in Natural Born Killers? What's her name?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know Natural Born Killers either. That's a natural born
Stevie
killers.
says, go watch Strange Days. There we go. That's the one.
Yep. Go watch Train Days for the best depiction of BD-like concepts. Exactly.
Yeah.
And man, I know Lizbar in chat. He's been playing the fuck out of Cyberpunk as well. I have been so impressed with it. The storytelling, the vibe, the emotion of the characters, the acting, the concepts, and how they're handling it. It's just a fun game. And it got so much shit. So I'm so glad I waited to play it till they actually were allowed the time to release what they wanted to release. Good on the polls. Yeah, so that's the bit, right? Again, the Elon's on the front line of chipping monkeys, and soon enough it'll be chipping people. But he's got to stop killing the monkeys. Like legitimately, he's got to stop. The monkeys probably are killing themselves. Honestly, it just doesn't make it's inflicting a split personality on a being. I don't see how that's gonna work, but they'll find a way, I'm sure, eventually.
Quote unquote work.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the big one in Cyberpunk as well, is that you have that inflicted on you. Keanu Reeves lives in your head. He's a terrorist called Johnny Silverhand in it, and he ends up getting stuck in there, and and you're trying to figure out how to get him out is most of the plot. And there's a couple different ways to do it. Yeah, he's a rock star too, which is fun. It's fun to see Keanu do that personality as well. This terrorist punk rock.
Clips of him like jamming on a guitar or something.
Yeah. No, I was very impressed. I'm very pleased I waited again because it was buggy as shit and it deserved the amount of smack it got. But and that's the difference between like releasing the product that you believed in and then patching it later, George Lucas style, compared to like being forced by your board to release something early that isn't ready and you've been telling them it isn't ready for the entire time. Like,
well, this is as far as the George Lucas thing goes,
Uh-huh.
I am not down with special editions, and this is known. However, I am not against artists going back and changing their movies and re-releasing them, but you have to release the original version along with it.
Yeah, preserve both.
You have to do both because you can go and have your artistic. Oh, I never got to do this. Now I have CGI thing, but you owe us the original version. Like you can have your cake and eat it too, George.
Yeah, he could have done that. That's very true. I know, like I don't have the same problem as well. Like a lot of Motorhead I've listened to. Lemmy went back because the recordings were so terrible and re-recorded them and remastered them, and the very similar kind of concept where it's just like we got to do this again with the better tech, and I understand why I'm doing better. And it sounds better. The better producer in that case, I think, is what it was. So it was mixed better, and you could hear everything. That kind of shit. So I'm with you, but it's not like he then stopped selling the old version.
Right, that's my only problem with it. I feel like if it's your art, sure, but you owe us what you originally gave us.
So
that's what we are used to.
So to go back to that too, so Rockstar Games, we'll go back to Grand Theft Auto. They fucked that up too. Is when they did these remasters that were terribly buggy, and they were based on the mobile ports from a studio that did those mobile ports way back in the day. So they were inferior to begin with, and then they just AI upscaled everything. But as soon as that was released, they pulled the other versions from every store.
Oh, wow, that's dirty.
And so that's the bit, right? And those other versions were already like patched out from those songs I was talking about. They were already lesser than what already came out. But now you couldn't play one that wasn't as buggy or didn't look as good. Well, you could if you had bought the physical, right? Again, or any of those other bits. But you couldn't, like, a new kid couldn't like, oh, this remaster's not great. I want to go see the old one. You're gonna have to pirate it.
He really is the thought police from 1984.
It's Fahrenheit 451 as well, burning those books.
Right. Well, I remember when I was a kid, my dad had this friend. I can't remember his name. I wasn't even a kid. I was a teenager. I should remember this guy's name. But he was one of these TP kind of hippie dudes, and very nice guy. But he always had these really crazy stories.
Okay.
Like,
what are those guys?
Some of them are just hilarious, but like really weird. But one of the stories, and he said, and this was before I had read 1984, and I'd seen the movie, but I didn't remember it. And he was talking about the thought police, and like as if they were a fact. And again, I didn't know this was in the book. And he was like, "Oh yeah, the thought policemen, they go into the libraries and they change what these books say, and they re-up these versions and they take this out." And he was saying that this had happened to like things in his own home, which, you know, I can't say it's true or not, but now I'm like, this guy doesn't sound crazy at all.
No, he's on a vibe that's been put out since, you know, again, George Orwell felt the vibe. As the Nazis put out that vibe very quickly. And before that, I'm sure many different cultures have put it out in different forms. Tribal leaders, chieftains. Yep, exactly. Well, I mean, government, Latin for mind control. It's just what it is. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. We still use that term. It's not like we call it something else. And it's called government. Governmente. Control over the mind.
I'm fortunate that I have, you know, the movies I like on DVD. Most of the ones I really did, the classics, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel for people who haven't tuned into that.
Well, no, and what is it? Is at least one, maybe 1.5 generations that streaming's the bit. You suckle off the teat instead of having the milk in the fridge.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's very rough, man.
That's a rough way to be. Yeah, I would never want that. I mean, I wish, you know, it goes beyond just movies and crap. If I should have a farm, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
A garden,
no, food's the big one. No, that one's been the big one forever.
You know.
No, that's the bit. Is that sense of you know, liberation, pulling yourself away. That sense of what do they call it? Living off the grid. That bit where you're out of it. I agree. I think that is originally, you know, what it should have been. If every family actually had a garden, world hunger would be completely wiped out.
But then they could make money. So.
Yep. You'd have to spend less money. You'd have to work harder on your own bits, right? You wouldn't have time to sit at a desk and type in numbers, that kind of shit. So it's those many Faustian bargains we make with what I'll generalize as the system that lead to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about that sort of thing yesterday about selling your soul in different ways.
Yeah. There's a lot of them, and that's just for like media and entertainment. Theoretically, inessential stuff. But then we go to the food, which you're talking about, right? Food, water. Water's a big one. You know, you had the Flint, Michigan thing, which is still, they have poisoned water. That never got fixed, and that is the system's job, right? There's those little things that's just... so much is just so very, very broken on that end, and it bleeds into the things that should be enjoyable, and from imagination and all of that fun stuff. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Robin Williams had a bit about that in his Live on Broadway. He was talking about, you know, in the future, it's going to be, hey, man. And he does the paranoid drug dealer look over his shoulder. I got water. And if you want it cold, motherfucker, I got ice.
Yep. Oh, shit. Yeah, no, there's a lot of that satire in playing Cyberpunk. They threw a ton of that in there. It's like fresh water. It's just big fucking commercial for a big happy face, all that shit. And the fresh, of course, is in quotations, right? It's that kind of shit.
It's like in Thunderdome when that guy offers Max the water
and
pulls out his Geiger counter.
Yeah, and it just goes crazy. Exactly. It's that kind of shit where it's satire, but it's not that far, and that's just terrifying.
Yeah, well, if these guys who did Cyberpunk were smart, there's so much good stuff to pull from. It sounds like RoboCop.
Yes.
A lot of what you're saying, that kind of satire.
Yeah, they did that. And that's why I've been so pleased with it. It's like, well, nobody really focused on what they actually did artistically and message-wise. I didn't hear almost anybody talk about that. And there's so many different angles they struck this. And surprisingly, so far, they haven't hit transhumanism much, which you would think would be at, like, the core of it. But instead, there are all these different societal ills. And, of course, half of your main character, Johnny Silverhand, he was a terrorist. He blew up, he nukes what he called an effigy to corporate excess, right? Because it's run by corpos, what they call it. There's more corpo power than there is governmental power. And, the second...
Wow. What a dystopian future!
Yeah. Well, this was done. So Johnny Silverhand's time is, when you play as him for a little bit, it's like 2023. Because Cyberpunk, the series, the RPG, which was, it was basically D&D, but they changed the setting, right, to Cyberpunk, to that vibe. It was done in the 80s. The creator was heavily involved in this game. So the satire is the same satire used in RoboCop, in Terminator, those kind of feelings. It's from the same generation. And they worked with the creator and kept true to it instead of selling it out, which I kind of thought this was a big deal to them, the amount of money they were getting. Kind of thought there'd be a bit more selling out than I've experienced so far. So I've been very happy about that. I think the sellout was, well, you get this out now to make your money. But
Right.
well, they did fuck people off. They shouldn't have released a PS4, Xbox One version of it. The game was just not built for those systems, and so anybody who got it on those older systems at that time got fucked. They got a game that will forever be busted.
I thought about buying it, and I just my best system is the PS4, and I'm glad I didn't buy it because of course, when it was still pre-order, and I was just hearing about all the problems they were having with it, so I was just like, well, I'll wait and see how things shake out.
Yeah, and it took 3 more years to shake out. and there was plenty of places where they still, again, fuck people, which is...
Dave was my coworker, my old coworker that he was talking about, he's like, you remember when you could just buy a game and go home and put it in and start playing?
Yep.
And
instead of like a 70 gig day one patch.
Right. Well, he was complaining about that kind of stuff, but also how he enjoyed the simplicity of games. He was like, I have to plug in the game and I have to go through this whole tutorial and I have to learn how to play the game.
That became it. Yeah, no, that became it. Instead of just like, here's a dot, bounce back the screen, you got a little flat thing.
Yeah, right. Don't let this dot touch that dot.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Real intuitive stuff. Now that's still done. In fact, that's the biggest game market in the world is mobile gaming. That's that kind of stuff. Now there's the other more insidious stuff, which I think gets a lot of kids these days. The money stuff, the force you to wait or pay to not wait kind of shit.
Oh yeah, you hear the horror stories about kids racking up their parents' credit card bills in-game purchases, and didn't they do a South Park about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy's playing it, or because he's always getting into that stupid stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I need more of these bucks or whatever."
Yep. Yeah, no, I think he starts looking at it because the kids are getting into it, right? That's usually gets World of Warcraft was the same thing, right? It's one of those bits. He wants to be young. He always wants to be Guitar Hero is the bit. He tries to show them guitar, right? That's just one of his character flaws.
Yeah.
He wants to be young. He won't give that up. That is always entertaining. The newest South Park, I'm excited. They're going with it's called the Enter the Panderverse.
Dude, I'm
excited.
They my sister has the Paramount.
Oh, cool.
Dude, we're gonna go watch it when it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
It looks so good. The last few the streaming wars was a lot of fun. Butter's trying to sell NFTs. Yeah. Hey, want some NFTs? Fucking Butter.
They put like boats in the stream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the streaming wars. Yeah. Just to prove how much water or whatever's getting used. It's pretty good.
Right. Yeah. I when the video store closed, I bought what they had of South Park, so I've got most of it. I've been watching it again recently. It's just it's always good.
Oh, so classic. And they're another one who have kept their creative integrity and actually got enough recognition for the artistry.
Integrity.
Yeah, they kept integrity. I mean, they've moved around and tried things, to be fair. There's some shit that hasn't landed very well, that they know didn't land very well. But, the mission statement hasn't changed, which for so many media, as soon as they start making money, that mission statement changes very quickly.
Oh, yeah. And that's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Let's see, Humble Marty said Safeway is now selling DVDs. So somebody's trying to pick up that market. That's good. And gacha games, which I've heard this term, and I've heard like the titles of the games, but you get like different versions of characters and you gamble that premium or non-premium currency you get to get those, and you spend more of your time opening what essentially is loot boxes than you do actually playing the games. And that's what really gets kids, and it'll get adults too. Anybody who has like a gambling thing, because it's dopamine after dopamine after dopamine hit. So it is drugs. And
it's Pokemon cards. It's packs.
Yes.
It's opening packs of Pokemon cards.
Yep. It's the same thing. MTG, same ideas. It's just
how many boxes of chocolate did you open? Well, I just one. One box. That's easy. No, not one box. Just one. Well, I can't do one.
Two. What?
Remember that from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh yeah, totally.
Charlie opened one candy bar, and all these kids, their parents were rich. They're buying boxes and boxes of Wonka bars.
Well, totally. I remember the girl who has like this might be Charlie in Chocolate Factory, but one of them where her dad's like got a whole fucking factory opening them for her.
Well, that might be in both. It's certainly in the original.
Okay, then that's what I'm thinking of. Then is the original. But yeah, no, that's the bit. At least those factory workers are getting paid to do it. But
it'd be like us just sitting around opening up packs of Magic cards instead of playing Magic.
Exactly, and that's again, it's one step away from gambling, and the trading card. We can blame the trading card company for how the game industry gets away with it now. If we hadn't let the trading card companies, do what they do, which I agree as a kid, it's fun. There's no joke. Like, it's really cool that you can get something that you don't expect, that, and maybe it even goes as far back to like Kinder Eggs and Cracker Jacks, right?
The Wonder Bowl.
Yes, that kind of shit where it's gambling. You're spending the same price to get something that could be better than other things. But I think in Cracker Jacks and the food stuff, it's usually like a baseline of like all the shit's like this. There's a sticker, a really cheap toy, all these things about the same level. Trading cards, you could apply a monetary value to.
It's something that you will throw away, not right after you throw the box away, but shortly thereafter.
Exactly. Compared to, again, trading cards, which you go into MTG, and then what was Pokemon, and we didn't even know when we learned that bit of economics. There's value because there's scarcity applied to it. And that was the issue, and still does that. And parents and whoever regulates that shit, gambling systems, right? The same folks who regulate gambling, they didn't see that as an issue. And now it's been bled into video games, and it is the moneymaker. Physical game sales or game sales period don't even come close to microtransaction shit.
Yeah, I feel bad for kids who have cell phones and have that access, because when you're a kid, you just don't have control. If there's a jar, it's the cookie jar.
Yes.
You're gonna eat all those cookies, man.
Yep. And that's the bit. And that's the thing too, right? Like, the difference is trading cards too, especially when you were kids, and your parents are buying one pack or something, right? And then that's your reward, that dopamine hit. You're not getting another one. You're on a phone by yourself. The parents maybe not be that fucking tech savvy and didn't put parental locks on the monetary information on their phone. Maybe they also have a problem with spending on the phone. It gets out of hand real quick.
Yeah, and it's gonna just perpetuate it. It's just gonna, like you said, it's just gonna set up future gamblers.
Yep. It's rough, but I can see how we got to this point. It's funny, but that's how it goes. But yeah, was there anything else we wanted to work on the stream? It's great chat, and it's good that we're working through this, and it's working. People are listening and interacting. We know that works. We're on two platforms, which is cool. I'll probably set up a separate restream account, and that way we can be on Twitch and YouTube at the same time for the hell of it. That's not hard. And I just input a separate stream key into my OBS when we go live. But I know how to do. That stuff I know. But background-wise, I've got music running. I don't know if you in fact, I know you can't hear it.
I can pull up the YouTube audio here and listen.
And I'm hoping it's the levels are all right. But this is right now we've got some metal in the background, right? So it's a little bit more intrusive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we got that. I definitely have your mic going.
Is that the new loop I sent you?
Of the what?
Of the fire.
No. Because
what I did was I kind of balanced out the audio in it so that the peaks weren't so high when the fire crackles.
Oh, let me get that then. Let me get that. Because
I fixed the crossfade to where it's a little bit more natural.
Cool. Let me grab
You
that.
almost can't tell. It almost sounds constant.
Killer. Yeah, that's a lot better. Sounds a lot better. Let's see. Where would that have been sent?
It was in that email where I sent you the updated image.
Maybe it's in this one? Oh, there's cracklingfire.mp. Yeah, that's it.
And it should say edited. I think I named it edited.
Well, this is it. So this is an MP3, so I can oh, well, duh, it should be an MP3. What am I thinking? Okay, never mind. Brains was one place, mind was the other. Okay. So I just need to find that, because, yeah, it is an MP3 that is doing the sound. The GIF is a whole different thing. Audio stuff, probably what it's under. Campfire sound. There you go. Did it download? Yes. On here. Edited. Boom. On. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it doesn't have as many pops. Still has
Yeah,
pop.
the peaks aren't as extreme. I just kind of put a limiter on it, and so it's just all of the levels are closer to the same level.
Gotcha, and that makes it easier on my end too. If it's too loud or whatever, I can adjust it. Killer. Cool. All right, so that was one other thing we forgot, so that's good. Music will come when music comes, but for right now, what I've got works fine.
Yeah, I have a little list of all the stuff I was supposed to do, so let me just check that real quick.
No worry. We worked on the background. We've got that going.
Oh, so the cricket sound I was going to send you. I forgot that it's attached to a video.
That's fine.
Like part of a video, and I don't know how to extract the audio from the video.
Well, I can do that, or I can just use the video and just not show the video. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
if you want.
Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty simple. So I also know how to extract the audio too if I want to go that far. It's basically just space, right? That's all that changes. It might be my PC should be fine. If I had like a weak processor, then it would be like, well, it's still trying to run the video while it's running the audio, and it might matter.
Well, I mean,
it doesn't matter.
I'm happy with just the fire crackling. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but I don't think we necessarily need like cricket sounds.
Okay, I'm good either way. Totally, like, you could add cricket sounds. You could add like a loop that's mostly silent and then has like a little owl sound, right? Or a little bird sound.
Some magpies recorded from the Chuck album.
Totally. There's like could do things like that too if we wanted more. What do you call that? That would be atmosphere. So it just depends on how much atmosphere we feel we need, alongside how much we don't. How intrusive it is. Again.
Right. And I guess that's something we can kind of figure out as we go.
Exactly.
And also, feedback we get will help with that.
That's the bingo too. I am impressed. We have had about 5 folks this entire time. It's pretty good. Going back on Twitch today, that was the thing. I do need to change this, but right now people can't tell. So to be fair, if Twitch is looking at it, unless they're taking the time to cross-reference Twitch chat to this, it should be fine. Twitch didn't allow simul streaming for a long time. They were okay with it if you weren't partnered, weren't making money off of them, right? They were okay with it. They didn't really care. And then they got really angry about it, so I stopped streaming on Twitch. Just went to YouTube because that's where I have any sort of real established fan base. But Twitch has better natural growth, like no question, compared to YouTube live stream. It's like night and day. And the interaction on Twitch and the audience is very different too. There's tons of music streams. There's all kinds of things on Twitch that YouTube doesn't really do very well.
Well, this is something I thought we should consider. I can certainly, on my end, record my audio, and if you can record yours on your end, what we can do is take that kind of clean audio from both of us, combine it, and then we can upload that to other streaming sites, like post live stream maybe, or have what I mean?
Hit up Spotify and other. That'd be good.
We have nice versions, quality versions for us recorded, just for like documentation's sake.
Also, yeah, no. So I could. The easiest thing for me is when I hit start streaming on here, I can also hit start recording. That would record everything though. So I would need to figure out how I can just record the mic input, which should be doable even through like Audacity or something, right?
That's exactly what I'm gonna do, is just Audacity. So that should be easy, because then you just got to get your recording level on that and then hit record. But I think that would be a really good idea. And then we could, and if we wanted to continue that kind of thought process, you could send me your audio, and then I could just go back in and add the fire loop into that if you just had straight audio, and we could create the same vibe, and we'd have just kind of cleaner version to upload elsewhere.
Totally. And God forbid we want to edit something out or whatever of that version as well, it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah, or if it was like a glitch and maybe some horrible noise comes through, that sort of thing, that we might want to edit that out.
Yeah, totally. No, okay. No. Yeah, you're going to have to remind me, but yeah, that should be super simple. I've got Audacity on here. I just got to point it to my mic when we start, and it should be fine. I just haven't used Audacity for, God, a long time. So, but it's pretty straightforward if I remember.
Yeah, and if you need any help, I can definitely help you with that. That's something I know how to do.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, no, okay, well, that's a good plan. All right.
Yeah, and I think after we're done here, I will get this updated background fixed and sent over to you.
Cool. And I'll throw that on in here. For now, we can just use this kind of camera setup, if that works. And then if you want to throw a green screen behind you, you can. We can figure that out. Or a black screen, as you were saying. I should be able to do that as well.
Yeah, and what color I'll use, it's going to depend on the time of day, because I cannot get it this dark in here if we're streaming in the daytime.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. We'll have to figure out time slots as well, so we'll figure that out. This is a Sunday evening, and we got a pretty good hit at like 8 o'clock, which is very impressive. I'm not used to that. Usually Fridays and Saturdays, but Fridays and Saturdays are where everybody does it, so that's always the consideration as well.
We might have to consider a Sunday night stream, because that would work for me. I work, and if we just kind of get things rolling after that, and I'm off on Mondays, so I can push it a little bit into the evening.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. And honestly, I liked the length I did of the Creator Roundtable, which is just pushing towards an hour and a half with a little bit of intro. We don't, it doesn't need to go on forever, unless if the talk's going well and we have time, that's fine. But keeping it digestible is smart, I think.
Right, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking an hour and a half, and we're not milking it, but if it naturally feels like we have more to go over, 2 hours, but like that's max.
Yeah. If you get a lot of audience interaction, that'll always increase the length. But at the same time, we don't have to do a lot of audience interaction. It's shown there. People can see it, kind of talk. So.
Well, I hope we get some.
Okay.
That would be that'd be part of the appeal to me.
Well, killer. Well, and honestly, audience interaction is what pushes this shit in the algorithms also. So it's nice. It's nice. If you want more natural growth, you got to have that interaction. The main thing that I've always struggled with is consistency. So we pick a time slot, you kind of got to stick to it. I'm terrible at that. But I can do it.
I am good at that.
All right. As long as one of us is good at that, then that'll drag my ass out of there. So, and that's all it's got to be. If people know, basically, it's because so people who like what you're doing know where to be and when to be.
Well, honestly,
and that's what I've been terrible at that.
Right. Well, I understand, and it's difficult also to gauge that too. But we're kind of. I think the fact that we just happened to get a few good, a few people popping in on a Sunday night, that's just fortunate for us.
Yes.
And it got us thinking, because I hadn't considered a Sunday night, but it makes perfect sense, because what do people do in the morning? They go to church on Sunday, a lot of people, and then they just kind of most people are off work after that, so they do stuff during the day, but then they go home in the evening, and they just want to hang out, and that'd be perfect timing for a stream.
Well, and same time too, then there's a new one Monday for the people who don't catch it on the weekend. Right.
Yeah, totally. Like you wake up Monday when you're at work, or if you have a job where you can listen to something.
Yep.
Because that's what I do, and I like when I'm at work and if you're streaming, I'll just put my headphones in and just listen to it while I'm folding t-shirts.
Yeah, exactly. No, a lot of people, that's a bit. You get the commute folks as well. I'm surprised how many folks will drive an hour, 2 hours for a gig, but it's a good gig for them. But it does happen, and it's far, like especially on the West Coast, and I'm assuming East Coast as well. But for the West Coast, that's a huge market of folks. It's how Joe Rogan got an audience, right? There was a lot of fucking people commuting. But yeah, so okay, no, this would work for me as well so far. See where I land as time progresses, but Sunday should be fine. And honestly, I don't see myself needing to head to bed super early, whether or not I'm working the next day. So.
Right, and if we start at like 7, or like 7:30, we won't be pushing it too late. And by the time we're done, it'll be like, oh great, do a couple more things and then head to bed.
Yep, exactly. So right on. If you folks in chat actually have any suggestions, ideas, thoughts, anything you want to say about like how this presentation's working so far, we'd love to hear it before we go ahead and start closing on out.
Oh, you know what? Real quick.
Yeah.
Quick, just in case we have people, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the link to our channel.
Oh, go for it.
In the chat. So this is what we're gonna. What we're gonna be doing. There we go. That's our channel. Cody and I are gonna start a new. We're gonna start a stream together.
Yes.
To Walk with Giants. And the subtitle of that is. What was it, Cody? It was Big Ideas, Humble Talk.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thinking, something like that, where it's communicative and talks to the main title, but gives an idea of what's going on if we're gonna do the subtitle, right? So
right. Well,
if that works.
Cody's always been a philosophical thinker.
I try.
And philosophical thinking is something
survival
I
instinct
later in life. But now it's very much a big part of my life, and I'm very happy and excited to discuss various topics with you in that realm.
Yeah, and I think I've always enjoyed our personal talks on that as well. We've definitely spent quite a few hours doing that off and on at different times, and I've always gotten something good out of them. And so being able to share that, being able to consistently I can use the word activate it, but that's the word that's coming to me, but that's not the word I want to use. To manifest it is a good thing. I think it's a very good thing.
It's and I was talking about this with Dean yesterday. I think philosophy is an art.
Yes.
And if you're gonna get good at art or progress in art, you need to practice it. And
yes.
I'm fortunate that I have a group of friends, you included, that we do practice that art together. And I would love to practice it on a platform where we can have other individuals outside of our circle jump in and share their thoughts and just dig deeper and hear ideas we wouldn't have heard.
That's a big one too. It takes a lot of different perspectives to even come close to arriving at truth, and even then trying to get to truth, I don't even know if that's possible, but I think it is a worthwhile goal, and you need to integrate as much. Exactly. Yeah, it's a very meaningful pursuit, and the more heads that are banging at it, the more honest that pursuit is. The more honest it is, the closer to truth it's going to be. Just how it works. It's the logical progression of that train. But yeah, thank you folks so much for joining us. Hit us up on any of the platforms. I know he and I are both on Twitter. I'm Cowboy_Steel or at IronVerse Comics, either one. If you have any ideas, thoughts, concerns, you listen to this later and you're like, oh, this sucked, I didn't like this. Let us know. We need that outside perspective for sure. Again, there's going to be a lot of change and stuff when this goes live, but this was a test ground and just trying to get stuff to work and feeling it out, and I think it definitely succeeded at that. You can find this wonderful individual where can we find you?
Oh, well, I'm Laguna Munta, LAGUNAMUNTA, and I'm on all those sites and services and all those sorts of things.
Does original rock and roll. If you want music you can't hear anywhere else, with soul and blood, sweat, tears, time, you're gonna be hard pressed finding something more original out there. Very much recommend it. Just look up Laguna Munta and you will find it.
I'm around, yes, and I do strive to be original. I was trying to quickly share the To Walk with Giants Twitter, but I don't know how to share a account.
Oh, so on desktop I would just get the
oh, duh, thank you, yeah.
the web address.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
No
Okay,
worries.
there's that, and then we will then we can quit farting around.
Yeah,
But yes,
no worries.
there we go. We're currently working on setting all this stuff up for you guys. But yes, he is IronVerse Comics. I am Laguna Muta. Together, we are To Walk with Giants.
Yeah, we've got the big heads and all going. So keep an eye out on it. We will see how things go, how things progress. I'll be letting folks know through my platforms. He'll be doing the same, and I very much look forward to how the journey is going to progress. Thank you, folks, for joining in and listening. I'm very, again, impressed because this was just a technical feel-out stream, so I'm glad folks had some time. Yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening, folks.
Thank you, folks. See ya.